I am so pleased to introduce Dan Alley, who chaired the committee that worked on the program, the community program book. And I think we've had such great comments and compliments in the community about the book. Really, thank you. So Dan, would you come up and start the program for us? Appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you, Carmen. I just got short. I'm feeling tall though today in here. Is this a great setup or what? Yeah! I came here at 6:30 and the place was full of fire trucks. I couldn't imagine it would look this good. But thanks to the chief and his magicians and the firefighters, thank you for opening up your home to the Rotary Club. There's always been a special bond between Sierra Madre Rotary and the fire department. I think it goes throughout the years when we had a ceremony. Rudy and I were just talking a few minutes ago, post 9/11 celebration and memorial. And we also, several years ago, donated a fire truck. And the fire department was instrumental in helping us attain the fire truck, retrofitting it, and also sending firefighters down to Guamachillo, Mexico, where Rotarians and firefighters from Sierra Madre donated that truck to a village, and to this date I think they're still using that. So thanks, Chief, for having shared this morning. Appreciate it. I'm going to have to read from my notes here because I've been president for a while and my public speaking isn't what it used to be, but I think we're so fortunate here in Sierra Madre to have the best volunteer fire department in the country. It's really a blessing for our city. I have a strong opinion on this. For just a minute, I'd like to talk about something pretty personal. It was 3 years ago that this fire department rushed one Sunday evening out to my home to take care of my son, who's in this room, but he doesn't want me to throw out a name, but he got immediate assistance and he was rushed off to the hospital. And I still have very fond memories of Bob Burnett, his calming words, and taking care of my son. So thanks, Bob. Never forget that. 3 weeks ago, the excitement kept going, and we had a fire at Chief Hydor's old house. It was 3 o'clock, and the professionalism and the firefighters and the police department were just outstanding. They were there in minutes. We lost a back structure, but the homes were saved. Mine included 7 or 8 others. They just did a fantastic job. So, Chief and firefighters, thanks again. The reason why we're celebrating today, or one of the reasons, is that about a year ago, the Sierra Madre Rotary Fundraising Committee decided to use some of its proceeds from this year's annual community events program towards a specific need of the fire department. The committee commissioned Rudy Hayek and myself to go and talk with Chief Roger Lowe, who is, I understand, on a plane somewhere overseas, and he couldn't be here, and I'm sorry about that. We'll honor him another time. But we went to him to see how we could help. It had been a while since we had done anything with the fire department, and we just figured it was time. This was long before the fires and all the excitement that happened up at Chantry Flats. But the chief at that time had told us that they were in need of some radios, and the radios were cheap. So it was a little bit ambitious goal for the committee. Our program usually takes care of our community events program, so we really had to work hard. And thanks to the hard work of the fundraising committee and each Rotarian in this room, and the generous support of the community, businesses, friends, we were able to raise funds to purchase not 1, but 2 radios for our fire department. I'd like the fundraising committee to please stand. One thing I didn't do. I'd like the fundraising to please stand when I call out your name, and we'll hold the applause to the end. But I want to recognize these people because they were instrumental in not only keeping us on track, but going out and raising funds, talking to people, and sharing, what our goals were. We're trying to help out the fire department, raise money for Rotary, and they opened us with open arms. It was unbelievable. Following people, please stand. Suzanne Hyatt, Kathy Huntsauer, Don Mills, Louise Calloway, Carmen Tebow, Rudy Hag, and B.D. Howes. Would you please give a round of applause to these folks? Frank Hall was also instrumental, member of Arcadia Rotary, and he couldn't be here this morning, but we thank him for his fine work. I also would like to extend a special thank you to Connie Brown, Tom Brady, Bill Coburn, and Gwen Gordon for a colorful program group, and probably the most colorful expanded program we've ever produced. We could not have done it without your help. So thank you very, very much. At this time, I'd like to have past President B.D. Howes and current President Carmen Tebow come up for a presentation. And I'd ask Chief Hardover and his staff to come up as well.
Dan has made a critical error. You never ask a past president to say it. And really, there's not much for me to add to what Dan said. Again, to reiterate, thanks to everybody who was involved. And of course, thank you to the fire department. We owe a lot to you. And of course, that point was driven home recently in the fires. So I really don't see any need for me to go on and on and on to tell you all how great you are. But everybody in this room, in some way or another, has contributed to the betterment of our community, and we thank you.
President Carmen, would you please present the check in the amount of $10,340 to our wonderful, fabulous Sierra Madre Volunteer Fire Department. Chief Hydor, thank you for making it possible. He also brought out 2 radios. They'll look similar to this. They're actually being made right now down at the factory, Motorola factory, special for Sierra Madre, and they'll be here in about 2.5 weeks. So thanks again, Chief. We're happy to have helped out. This is just the start for us. We plan on doing more, but this is a good start. Our goal is to help you get those rigs outfitted. Chief, would you say a few words?
One of the reasons I brought Ray up is Ray is our radio guy, and so I'm not the sound guy. But I want to thank Ray's our radio guy. He's the one that puts all the software and everything into these radios. Because for me, I push the button, I talk, and I go, I listen. Other than that, I'm going to have to read a little bit too. Anyway, good morning, Rotarians, and welcome to Station 41.
Morning.
Morning. Morning.
I'd like to thank you for your generous donation of the 2 badly needed VHF radios. The city has bought 4, and then there was a grant for 12 more. But there's always been short in our 3rd engine. And these 2 radios will complement that engine and someday get it up to full speed. The SierraMadre Fire Department has been very busy this year, starting last June when the paramedic program began. And the paramedics have run since then over 650 calls. And amazingly, about 2 weeks ago, we had our first annual audit with LA County Department of Health Services, which we passed with only a few minor comments. And also this year, we started the auxiliary program. We call them our shift firefighters. And they volunteer 1 day a week, 1 24-hour shift. And this helps us tremendously during the daytime when we really need them the most. The 3rd accomplishment was the creation and execution of the first Sierra Madre Fire Academy. We had 16 graduates from this 18-week fire academy. These dedicated young men and women gave up every Saturday and Sunday for 18 weeks in order to volunteer to protect our city. have a page two. We've also been very busy with calls. This year we responded to over 800 calls, and we're on track to exceed that amount this year. The Santa Anita fire we had in April and early May was one of the most costly fire suppressions this city has ever had. I think it'll probably go over about $4 million. But the final cost to the city probably won't be known for a few months because, as you know, OES and the fire departments, they're kind of busy up north. There were over 1,000 firefighters on the fire. It burned 584 acres, but it didn't destroy a single home or had any serious injuries. And the police on this were also very busy. They had a difficult task of evacuating over 1,000 people. Then, of course, 3 weeks later, we had that freak thunderstorm. It dumped almost 2 inches of rain, which started a mud flow on Woodland and Skyland. The fire department had assistance from 2 LA County camp crews to help shovel mud, and along with our Public Works Department and the neighboring city Public Works Departments. And they did an outstanding job on directing the mud away from structures, and then they had the ominous task of removing tons of dirt and mud from our streets. And just a side note on this, the whole time this was going on, I was kind of in northern Italy drinking wine. Okay. Okay, then later in May, there was a storm went across Northern California, and it started about 1,700 fires from dry lightning. Roger Lowe, our battalion, one of our battalion chiefs, spent 14 days up there as a strike team leader with an OES strike team, which engines included Arcadia, Fountain Valley, Ventura, Ventura City, and Carpinteria. And our OES didn't go because it happened to be in the shop at the time. But when it got out, it left for the Humboldt fire up in Chico, where the first crew spent 14 days up there, and then we flew the second crew up and spent 10 days up there. And as you can see, it's not here now because it left Sunday for the Yosemite for the Telegraph fire, and it's expected to be back probably in about 10 or 12 days. What are plans kind of for the following year? The city has a new EOC, and the fire department has a new meeting room and classroom. And it's my idea to not only have a meeting room, but have a state-of-the-art classroom where we can have the equipment to properly train and educate our firefighters. This room will not be only used by the fire department, but by the police and the community to use it for, as well as for a classroom. The paramedic program, we're looking to change it a little. We have 28 or so now part-time we have part-time paramedics. I'd like to see that we hire and we make 3 full-time ones. And the argument with this is because it will bring some consistency and continuity to the need. And also it's really tough to have the part-timers every shift, because if we get 2 brand new guys on, then Greg, our paramedic, you have to just babysit them completely. This way there's somebody to run. And then this year I'd also like to see us get a new ambulance. Greg is working on a program for this. Our newest one is 8 years old now, and he's putting together a program, and it'll cost about $110,000 for a new ambulance. And then on the suppression side, through training, I hope to get everyone on the department up to Firefighter 1 status. And this will, and then also work on some new mutual aid agreements with our neighbors. And kind of in conclusion, I'd like to invite anyone who would like to take a tour of our facility here, upstairs in our meeting room in the EOC, after the meeting. And again, thank you for the 2 radios. Thanks a lot.
My husband says I'm vertically challenged, so what can I say? Thank you so much, Chief. I have to tell you, we are just really thrilled to be able to make this presentation to you, but our contribution to you just pales in the contribution that you all make to this city and the surrounding communities. And we applaud you. I mean, we can't thank you enough for all you do. Thank you.